Welcome.
Hey y'all.
Come on in the room. That's all I had.
That's it. Okay.
That's all I had. Welcome back, y'all.
Hey y'all.
Welcome to the seriousness of nothing and everything. I am Melissa.
And I'm Allison.
And we are your hosts. For the evening and forever.
Forever.
So yes. Welcome.
How are
Don't
you?
forget. I'm good.
Great.
Like, subscribe.
Yes.
Click the notification bell.
So you can know whenever we post new stuff.
Yeah.
So how are you, love?
I'm excelente.
Wonderful.
How are you? I like this pink. It's
Mm,
very
thank you.
cute.
I'm channeling Blanche Devereaux.
It is giving very
Little
much Blanche Devereaux and like the nightgowns
Yes.
and the what are they called? Dressing gowns?
Sure. Yep.
Period. Now one thing about Blanche, she met her little dressing gowns.
All day, every day. And the little
Kid heels.
yes. Loved them.
Gorgeous.
She was always cute.
Your hair too. I like the mohawk.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying to embrace the natural curls.
I like it, girl, because I'm trying to grow my hair out and it's not growing like it's supposed to grow. So
Well, it'll come in. You know, it takes a while to get past that short phase. But when's the last time you cut it, though? Did you just recently get it cut?
I mean, I cut it myself. I know my barber ever watches this. He's probably like,
Really?
here she go. Think she a barber.
Right.
But-
Like, I can do it myself.
Yeah, he's like, who do you think you are? Oh, you think you're a barber now? But no, I know I'm not. But I don't know. But I feel like it was long enough where I should have like a TWA, no?
Oh. Like a month?
Probably.
Oh.
Maybe more than a month. Maybe 2 months.
Maybe you should try the aloe vera. How everybody was doing the aloe vera gel on their hair. Maybe
Where
you should
it's
try
in the
that. You should try that. The natural aloe vera.
Where did I go get aloe vera from?
It's at the grocery store.
Aloe vera?
The plant, like a leaf.
Like Whole Foods?
Whole Foods, Publix.
It's probably not a Food Line. No shade of Food Line. But
They might have it though, because sometimes Food Line will surprise you in their grocery area.
I mean, they definitely surprised me having the Almond Joy creamer. I was going to Walmart, but since, who was going back in the office, there were big donors, Walmart was, so we won't be going.
Oh, is Publix on that list too, as a donor or something? Yeah, maybe Harris Teeter. Harris Teeter has aloe vera,
Okay.
the leaf. So yeah, I feel like my elbows are a little ashy.
Oh, I think I have a lotion back here.
Yes, I can. Get some of that.
Yeah, I'm still on the search for a good lotion. Might still be the Vaseline Radiant one, because that's Kiehl's, but I still find it doesn't quite give me what I need. And I did have a Mario Badescu one over there. That one used to work. Now it does not work. In fact, I need to throw it away. Not unless
Maybe it's old.
maybe, but it didn't work. Now I put it on and I feel like my hands get ashy. So it's about to go in the garbage.
It's not working.
No. So anyway,
Well,
welcome. Y'all know how we love to digress. But anyways, here we are to talk today about grief. I don't know. It's a good topic because a lot of people are out there grieving.
Yeah,
But I don't know because sad face.
it's a hard topic.
It's a hard topic. It's a hard topic. I'm trying to keep it together. Turn it. I should have brought some tissue.
Oh, you don't have a tissue box?
I don't know if I do.
I told you to keep tissue boxes.
I know. I used to have one, but I think I used it.
Oh.
So, our mom is actually here, and I know she's rolling her eyes because she's like, I did not want people to know that we're sitting over here. We tried to get her in, but she said, no, thank you.
Love you, Mommy.
We love you so much. I don't know where the tissue is, Mom. Maybe we could just get
Just read some toilet paper.
some toilet paper or some paper towel, child. We just go scratch our eyes up.
Oh.
So, but yes, so we are going to talk about grief today because there are a lot of people out here dealing with it.
Yeah, it is unfortunately a part of life, and it's not just like grief of like the loss of a loved one. It could be the loss over anything, the loss of like what you thought your life would look like, the loss of like a career or a job opportunity,
Your own innocence.
yeah,
I mean, there are people that are probably grieving this election.
Yeah.
And having to come to terms with the fact that maybe Harris didn't win, Trump is back in office. So I mean, there are people who are grieving many different
All
things.
kinds of things.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing to keep in mind. Grief is not just about the loss of loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
It is about loss.
Period.
And dealing with loss. Or not dealing with said loss.
Yeah.
Is there something that you are still grieving now? Don't mind.
That's not. I was gonna say that's not gonna work. Thank you.
Unless you balled it up. Oh, can y'all see her in the mirror? Got her.
Oh, I wonder if that was in the camera.
Oh, that's gonna be so funny.
Yeah, that'll be hilarious.
I'm gonna zoom in.
Okay. Something that I'm currently grieving or still grieving.
Yes.
I don't think there's anything that actively I'm still like kind of reeling from dealing with. I mean, we experienced the loss of our dad in 2019. And there are times when it'll hit me especially when I'm like, man, I wish Daddy was here. He would be able to answer this, or I wish I could ask him this. Or like when I'm with my son and I'm like, dang, I wish my dad was around to be there for him or whatever, see him do this or whatever. Or even like, with my daughter. So I'm not daily still grieving the loss, but there are moments when it hits me like, he's not here for this. I think I deal with, and not actively, but also just dealing with like the loss of, and not so much the loss, maybe the loss, I don't know, what I thought my life would look like.
Gotcha.
But I'm not actively grieving it, but it's just coming to terms with, all right, it doesn't look like what you thought it was going to look like, so now what are you going to do? So.
No, I think that makes sense. And I don't think people talk about that enough. Grieving the loss of what we thought something was supposed to be. Do you feel like is there a stage you feel like you're at in that loss? So I think it's easier to talk about stages when it comes to people. Are you in a certain stage when it comes to the loss of what you feel like your life should have been?
I think let's talk about the stages then.
So stages, I think it's 5 stages. There's anger, there's denial, there is anger, there's bargaining, there's depression, and then acceptance.
Okay. I think I'm probably coming out of the depression of it all, honestly. Because I think on an earlier episode I mentioned that after my last birthday, it was kind of like,
like, what have I done?
Yeah. And I think now I think I'm maybe still in there a little bit, but I think I'm coming out. I'm on the other side of the depression part of it.
Okay.
I think so.
Well, that's good. That's good. Are there certain things you feel like you've done, or you just feel like it was time, or?
It was definitely doing things like because when you're depressed, I think I heard Jim Carrey say this in some interview, like depression is just your body rejecting the avatar that you created for yourself. It's like you need deep rest in a sense. And so I think there was, so I guess there is some time in there, but I think it was a deep rest that was needed. But then also in that resting, or in that kind of sitting still, if you will, and sitting in it, it forced me to kind of look at the things that I needed to actually do to actually move myself out of the funky state, or the sunken sunken state.
place.
Definitely a sunken place.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not quite there yet, but I'm recognizing these are things that I need to do or continue to do or be consistent with that can move me out of the depression. So it's a combination because it took time to get the clarity, and now I have to do something about it.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. And one thing I will say about you, and I personally have not gotten to that place yet, but I can admire you and what I perceive to be things that you're doing is you leaning very heavily on your faith.
Yeah.
And leaning very heavily on the Lord. I have not.
You're gonna make me cry. Stop it.
I'm sorry.
It's too soon. We just started.
I know. I haven't gotten there yet, which is probably why I'm still lingering in the anger stages of my grief across the board. I'm still very angry, and I haven't found a way to lean into Christ and lean into Bible and Scripture and the Word. But I see what you're doing. I see what my mom is doing, and we have another sister too, where they are leaning or have been leaning, and I am like,
I don't want it.
You know,
I'm not ready.
I'm not ready to lean, and not because I not necessarily don't want to lean. It's just
to lean means you gotta let go of something.
Yes, and I'm not. It almost feels like I have to let go of my dad almost, because that's the grief I am still reeling from. I'm still in the anger stage of that, and he, passed in 2019. I'm still very angry about that. I'm still very angry with the Lord about that. I mean, I remember when he passed, and I think I was probably just a shell of myself, to the point I remember riding around in my car screaming at God, just like, how could you? Told him I hated him. I was mad. And while I'm not that upset any longer, because I was livid, I am still angry at the fact of all the things that I didn't get a chance to do with my dad. But I can appreciate, although I'm not there, seeing you and Mom and you and Jennifer making strides. Like, well, maybe one day I could do that too, but I don't feel I don't want to say I don't feel the push to do it, but it's just like, I feel like in my mind, I feel like I should feel like all right, Melissa, now is the time. And I haven't felt that, like and maybe I'm not going to feel that. Maybe I just need to do it. And then it just becomes the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel very locked into the anger of it all. I feel very invested.
So you're in the anger stage.
I'm still in the anger stage.
Is that the first stage?
No.
Oh, denials.
The second stage. Like, I'm not in denial. I know he's gone.
never in denial.
I think I probably was in the denial stage I wasn't in that stage for that long. I almost jumped straight from denial to anger.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of a denial. Like, I think I was in denial stage when we got back from the hospital that night or that morning.
Like, you can't be gone.
Yeah, and I remember sitting in the bathroom, and I just was like,
no way this went down like this.
Ain't no way. Like, what? I couldn't really process it. So I think I was in the denial stage for maybe a day, But then I think I had to actually say that he died.
Mm-hmm.
We had a neighbor come by. I can't even remember the neighbor's name. It's a man. He came by the next day. And I don't know where everyone was, but I had answered the door. And he was like, hey, I'm such and such, a neighbor from up the street. And we saw like the ambulance and stuff. We just wanted to check, is everything okay? Like, was it Mr. Hall? How's he doing? And I just literally stared at him, and I was just like, I couldn't say nothing. I literally could not say anything. I just was like, and I paused. Well, I did say, I said, he didn't make it. And I couldn't say nothing else. And literally the man was like, I am so sorry. He burst into tears.
Oh, wow.
And then he walks away. And he's like, I'm so sorry. And I just closed the door. I couldn't. So I think maybe that was when the denial stage ended. Because it was like, I had to actually say, he didn't make it. And then the anger came. And it hasn't quite left. It's diminished. You know, I'm not out here telling God how much I can't stand him and hate him. And he can go straight to talk to Beelzebub. Because I was wild. I know God was like, I could
like, really?
smite her.
This is what you doing?
Turn her straight into dust because she out of pocket. But I didn't care. It was almost like I was so angry. I was egging God on to be like, do it. You done took him. Take me then. What you gonna do? I don't like you. I ain't never liked you. And this is what you do. So it's been hard to find this, because I'm trying to make sense of it. And maybe that's the part I struggle, because I can't make sense of it. I can't make sense of someone who is such a staunch lover and Christian and love God. And, you know, I can't, of all the people to die, I couldn't make sense of why it had to be Daddy. I just knew he was going to live well into his 90s. Maybe even 100. Like, that to me, I would have been more prepared. But
right.
For him to die at 79, just seeing, and even that's still a long life compared to many, many people. But it just was like...
And then it was quick, too.
It was quick. Like, I talked to him the day before. Like the night before, telling him, come on, Dad, you got to hold on.
Yeah.
We're eating Chinese food when Mommy called. Like,
yeah.
I will never, I'll never forget that. So I'm still in the anger stage. I think I might go, I'm between anger and I don't think I ever was maybe in the bargaining stage. Maybe I don't understand what the bargaining stage is, but.
That's like, God, if you save them, I'll do this.
I think I was in the bargaining stage on my way to Goldsboro.
Yeah.
I was bargaining with God then, like, look, I will never drink again. I'll never do anything. I will never curse again. Just please, please. I was bargaining with God then, so I haven't been back into that stage. I think I just in denial for a little bit, straight into anger, and I teeter between anger and depression. So,
what do you think has made the anger lessen? Is it just time?
I think it's just time. I think it just really was. It was just time, and realizing all my anger can do is just be anger. Like there's nothing.
Nothing's coming of it.
Yeah, nothing really comes of my anger. Like. It doesn't necessarily comfort me like it did before. My anger cocooned me before. If I couldn't do anything, I could lean on my anger. You know, I could double down on my anger. I could take comfort in my anger. I have a reason to be angry. You know what I mean? You know, but now... You know, I don't necessarily want to be angry. I wanted to be angry back then.
Yeah.
I wanted to blame God. I wanted to be mad. Now, I don't want to be angry. The anger part just kind of comes, but I don't intentionally want to sit in the anger, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It just kind of just comes. I'm like, man, I just really miss him. Now I want to move past it. But I also don't want to forget him. And so then part of me feels like if I completely am done with grief, am I going to forget about my dad. Like, because there's sometimes where I won't even think about him. And then I feel guilty for not thinking about him. Like, I want him to be on my mind. Maybe not ever present, but I don't ever want to forget. I don't ever want him to think that I've forgotten about him. And so part of me, the grief feels like it's a reminder, almost like, not like an honor, but kind of like you're always there. But I know I probably need to find another way to do that. But, it just, I don't know, Chad. I miss him. Like, a lot. I miss him a lot. It's just, and him being gone, it's affected so many things. Like, I don't necessarily really date like that, because there are times I feel like, it was always my thing to have the guy that I'm
stayed in a relationship that looked like y'all could get married.
Stayed in it.
Everybody.
And I love the fact that for the majority of the guys I dated, they got along so well with my dad. So that was always like how little girls think, my dad would walk me down the aisle. I definitely wanted my dad to walk me down the aisle. Like, I think I remember talking to you, I think we were walking in the park sometime, and I was like, I think Daddy was still kind of battling with cancer, and I was like, I just want him to, he has to stay here, because who's going to walk me down the aisle? Yeah. But even, like, just seeing your dad and the guy that you're with, your potential husband, getting along and being cool, like, that means a lot to me. So even the idea of, like, dating now, I mean, yes, I want to be married, but part of me is just like,
but he ain't gonna get to know my dad.
He ain't never gonna get to know my dad. I'm not gonna get like my dad to be like, he's cool, he's not cool. Like, that meant something to me.
Yeah.
So
I think part of the reason that that I think I was able to kind of move, I don't think I was angry that he passed. I was upset that I didn't get to see him before he passed. And that by the time we got there, he was long gone. Mm-hmm. That upset me. But him passing, because for me, it was like, he's a shell of who he was. And it felt to me like he probably was ready, in a sense that I don't want to go on living in this way. Mm-hmm. Because I think about myself, like later in my life, Lord willing, if the quality of my life has diminished to a certain point, if it was time for me to go, there would be like okay, because I don't want to go on living this way. So that kind of brought me comfort, was just the idea that I know for certain that he's gone to heaven.
For sure.
Without a shadow of a doubt. He's definitely, there's no pain at all. He's resting. And then he's with God. So,
which is where he want to be.
Where he wants to be. Like, all he wanted to do was like talk about God and serve God and like talk about how good God is. That's what they do in heaven all day. Mm-hmm. Is just praise God. So the other part for me was just like, he is literally doing exactly what he wanted to do. So I think I was able to kind of reconcile like the fact that he is gone with how people, it's a cliche when people say, oh, now they're in a better place, or now there's no more pain, or, no struggle and that kind of stuff. But it really, when I think about Daddy, it really brings me comfort in knowing that he's not in pain. There's no struggle now. And I think the other part is that with him passing, it was kind of like a realization that his faith provided a covering for our family. And with him gone, it's the realization that I leaned on his faith. So now it's time for me to develop my own relationship with God. So I think in terms of kind of looking for, the good that comes out of even the most horrible things, you look at how that person being gone has changed you. I'm wondering, when you say like you don't want to let go of the anger because it feels like you're forgetting Daddy. What could be what ways could we like honor Daddy or remember him? You know what I mean? Or what would feel to you like, because you're never gonna forget him, because he's a part of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was actually talking with Aunt Wenna. That's our mom's sister, and I was talking with her on the anniversary of Daddy's death, and so she was just like, how you doing, and so on, and I was like, yeah, struggling,
right.
And she was like, have you thought about, instead of kind of sitting and maybe, she's like, you're gonna be sad, but have you thought about commemorating your dad like on this day, his death, maybe not in the sense of kind of sitting, reflecting, being sad, but doing something that would honor him, make that day about honoring him. So going out and doing something that he would want to do, whether it was golf, whether it was, if there's some sort of game or football this or a golf that or something with church, but doing something that she's like, doing something that your dad would have enjoyed doing every year on this day, instead of kind of sitting with the sadness
of the loss.
And I never thought about that.
That is so good.
But that's such a good idea, to turn it into a way to honor him by doing something that he would have liked. And even it makes me think of time Daddy would be like, come on, Liz, don't you want to be benevolent?
Be benevolent.
Be benevolent. Showing some sort of benevolence in some way on the day that he passed. But yeah, sure, I'll still be sad, but it'll be a way to kind of honor him, where it turns it into more of a joyous,
like a celebration.
Yes, that
is so good.
Such a good idea. So I was like heck yeah, I'm definitely gonna start doing that.
I'm here for that.
So shout out Tia Rowena.
Yeah, and on his birthday too.
Any Father's Day, birthday, the day that he passed, all the things. And then those will be, so I won't have to cling to
the day he died, or previous memories of him. We'll be creating new memories around his memory.
Yeah.
So now when you think about Daddy, it'll be like, oh yeah, we celebrated his life just last year. And we had a great time on the golf course. Oh, we went to a football game. Who was his team? The Cowboys?
Well, he liked the Cowboys.
But then he liked the Panthers,
He liked the Panthers. After a while, it just started to be like, I just like football, so I just...
whatever.
I'll just go with whoever's just going.
I like the winning team.
Yeah. I don't like that, Tony. I do like Tony Dungy,
Right.
Oh, it just kind of depends.
Oh my gosh, that is good.
But that was such a... I was like, show you
right. Show you right.
Show you right. So
everybody should do that.
Yeah.
Well, Father's Day is in June. Yeah. I think that's great.
And then also doing things, activities, but then if we also do other things, we could do things in his name. Like, oh, this is a such and such in memory of Al Hall.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? We want to just donate some, money to blah, blah, blah.
Go
under Al Hall
or something.
If it's just, here's $500. Everybody donate $100.
Yeah.
Al Hall.
I think that's a big part of and maybe maybe therapists and whatever would say something like this, but when you think about grief, at least for me, I've never heard this before. I'm sure some people do it, but you never think about creating new memories around the person that passed.
Because you think the memories of them is gone. Like, just like,
it stopped.
I don't have any more new pictures of Daddy.
Yeah.
I keep recycling the same ones on social media.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep recycling. But
yeah, why not? But yeah. This is a quick aside, but there was a show I was watching. Can't remember what it's called. Upload or something. I don't remember. Anyway. A person passed away, and before like the life slips out of them completely, a company comes in and uploads their consciousness to a server.
Is that the one they said don't do something as pedestrian as dying? Was that?
No, that's a different. That was a different show.
Okay.
In that show, those people were creating clone bodies and uploading their consciousness into new bodies.
Gotcha.
But in this one, all they do is take your consciousness, they put it into a server, and they have a virtual world created for people who have passed away. Of course, you have to, pay for this service or whatever. Cool. But you can go in, they create a body for you. They create like a room for you. Like you have a home, depending on how much you pay. It could be a really nice house or just a little cell. You can actually make calls. Yeah, some of them were cells. You can actually make calls to the living world from this virtual world. The consciousness is living, not breathing, but alive.
Can you imagine? That would be amazing.
When I was watching that show, I was like, someone needs to work on this if it's not already being done. Because can you imagine, like, if that existed, if Daddy had passed away and we had got him signed up, we could be calling him on the phone and talking to him right now.
Exactly. It would change.
Crazy.
It would change death completely.
It would change everything.
It would change it. Like, okay, your body dies.
Yeah.
But your mind, your consciousness
lives on.
So you can always talk to whomever. Daddy can still talk to, his parents. Mommy talk to her parents. Like, that would be so cool.
That would be amazing. And I think how it hit me is like when someone passes away, you don't realize how finite death is until it happens. And then you're like, I'm never going to hear from this person again.
Never. I'm
never going to hear their voice. Like you said, I'm not going to have any new pictures, no new videos. This person is gone. And it's crazy. Like, this, they die and they're gone.
It doesn't click until you go
until it happens. And you're like, yo, like there is a void. Mm-hmm. There's an actual black hole.
That is the truth. And they don't say that enough. Kind of like the whole idea of, like when your parents get older, dealing with an aging dog, they don't tell you like, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Just like they don't tell you until you're in it how it is like an end. Mm-hmm. Like it is a hard stop.
Yep.
And that was also part of that denial of being like, he was literally just here. I just talked to him.
Yeah.
What do you mean I can't go and talk to him? It kind of reminds me, it's not the same situation, but it reminds me of the line in the movie. It was Independence Day? No, it was Transformers, and it was John Voight's character. And he was like, you mean to tell me I can't pick up the phone and call my... And it didn't work. And he was like, he threw the phone down. But it's like you mean to tell me I can't just go into my parents' room and see my dad laying on the bed and, what up? Hey, Liz. And you mean to tell me he's never going to be there again?
Yeah. Or even like when we got to the hospital, he's not with us now? Like he's already gone?
Yeah. I remember Pastor Lee was talking to me. He was, I don't know if I guess he was in his way trying to prepare me, but he made it seem like Daddy was still alive. He was just like, well, when you go in there, things, it's just, he's not doing well. And I was just like, okay, I wanted to be like, okay, well, stop talking to me. Let me go talk to him. Woo! Like, okay, thank you. Please, slide to the side. But, and I get in there, and he was already gone. Like, I think maybe they maybe just recently kind of called it, but it was just like,
nah.
well, who else is coming in here? Because
right,
y'all bringing like,
did y'all already do the paddles or
Yeah.
like what?
I don't understand what's happening. Like, is someone else coming in here? Because I see him like, it just, you know, I do envy the people who, even though their loved one was suffering, they had the opportunity to somewhat prepare.
Yeah.
You know, like, to say, okay, time is getting near. Let's all gather. Let's this, let's that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's rally. You know, even if it was a day, even if it was 2 days, maybe it was a month, you know. But anyone that has that opportunity,
that's a blessing.
that is a huge blessing. Because to have someone be here today, gone tomorrow,
unexpectedly,
I don't ever want to go through nothing like that again. And that's not to say that I won't, because that's just how life is. But that was the worst. That was the worst. And then that was also part of it too. It was kind of like, you know, to your point, I don't think Daddy enjoyed where he was. You know, he'd lost a lot of weight. There are a lot of things, you know, where his body wasn't functioning the way it was, what sickness will do. And I do think he was like, if I got you between this and heaven, send me on to the king, because you know, like, I know I'm going to heaven anyway, so I'm out of here.
Let's get this party started.
You know, but there are parts of me that wished he would have said that to us, so that we could have prepared. Because I think all of us, because of how my dad's faith was, you know, my parents' faith, I think we just thought, well, the Lord go, all right, he's gotten sick again, but he was sick before, and he came back, he was fine. So this is not the best time, but he's gonna bounce back. And it never dawned on me that he could actually die. That's the thing. It never dawned on me that he could actually die, like, soon. Are people gonna die? Yes.
Yes.
It never dawned on me that it was gonna be when it was.
Yeah.
I truly thought my dad was gonna die in 90s, if not after that. It was not even a thought. Like, I remember going to an appointment in a hospital with my parents, and the doctor had mentioned something about death, and I looked at the doctor like, well, hold on.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Like, are you saying he might die? And the doctor kind of looked at me like, well, what do you mean? But I was just, it wasn't computing for me how bad it was. And I wish that, you know, he would have talked to us. Even if he would have been like, this is a lot.
I'm tired.
Y'all. I'm tired. And those times when, you know, I think of Daddy being around us when he was still sick and going through different treatments, and you'd see him praying, just praying. You know, I wonder if he was like, Lord, I'm okay with going. But then I also wonder, like, did you know that when you went, how it would affect us? Like, did you not think of that?
Yeah.
And maybe he did, but I wish he would have thought, like, let me try to prepare them. And then I think, do you know how much we loved you? For you to just disappear, that shit is crazy.
And like,
and us,
we wanted you to stay.
We wanted you to stay, bro. Like, what you mean? You thought you could just up and die? We would care?
But I think, knowing Daddy, he was probably like, Lord, you gonna take care of them.
I know.
I don't doubt that. He was probably like, yeah, God, I know you got him, so whenever you're ready, I'm ready. But then Daddy wasn't the type to, like, he could express his feelings about his faith, about God, and maybe I didn't get that side of him, but I didn't see him expressing like his feelings, how he felt. So maybe he, you know.
I feel like as he got older, he did a better job of expressing how he felt. Not so much when we were younger, but as he got older and he was doing the things and going, seeing people and all that stuff, I felt like he got better at expressing how he felt. I mean, was he the best? No, but he got much better. So I just thought,
how hard is it though to tell your family that you don't want to do this anymore?
I mean, I'm sure it's probably very hard. I just wished he would have. And then I've struggled with, well, I'm sure he didn't know how much we loved him, but then I also am like, I just don't ever want him to think we didn't. Or that there was any question or...
I think he had questions. But also, I do believe that he's listening. You know what I'm saying? That he sees us now. So, like, he knows that now. I mean, he knew that before, but he knows that. I do wish that we would have had, that I would have, or we would have had conversations with him. Like,
about his life or
about his life, yeah. But even like about like that last conversation we had with him, like you gotta fight, like, but more conversations like that, so it maybe would have given him the opportunity to like openly express what he was going through or what he was thinking, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or even like what he was saying to God, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we didn't have a lot of conversations about that, like about the possibility of him leaving us. No. We didn't have a conversation like that.
Yeah. There are a lot of those types of regrets, like,
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the grief I struggle with. Still struggle with. Like, I miss him. It's beyond words, but everybody handles grief differently. I need to go to grief counseling. I know that. I just know as soon as I sit down on the couch,
waterworks, the floodgates will be open. But crying is such a great release. I love a good cry.
Do you love a good cry?
Girl, I be crying every time I have like my quiet time. Like it's almost as soon as I sit down, just crying. I know God hates to see me coming. Like, oh God, here she comes, crying all the time. God, stop crying. Crying. I love a good cry. Just a release.
It is a release, but I feel like my cry usually turns to yelling. sort of meltdown.
Let it
but
rip.
Not even like, just bawling. I end up like a heavy metal concert.
But maybe it's because you be holding it in. So if you have a daily cry, then them weekly meltdowns won't happen.
Yeah,
Better get you a daily cry.
Oh, yeah, I can't imagine.
Like a daily number 2, you better get you a daily cry.
I ain't got no problem. Daily cry. It's a whole nother story. But yes. But to anybody out there dealing with grief, it's our heart goes out to you. We're sending you virtual hugs,
love,
and
peace.
Mm-hmm. And also praying that you have people that you can talk to. Grief counseling is also a thing, but I can't preach because I haven't been. But I do want to go. I feel like I do this in every episode. What is it? Anyway.
What's your new thing?
It's something that the young kids do.
And the young kids might be like, we don't do that anymore.
Probably. I might be like, it's old. We did
old.
this.
Yeah.
But yes, we're sending you love and we're sending you hugs and I don't know. Does time heal all wounds? Perhaps.
Doesn't
a lot of
heal them.
time.
Yeah. It doesn't heal them. What did somebody say? Time
You
doesn't
learn to manage it, I
Yeah.
think.
You learn to manage it. Time allows you to reframe it,
Mm-hmm.
refocus it.
Mm-hmm. So, any last words you have?
And just thinking of like the reframing, like time will allow you to reframe loss. And I think that's probably the goal for all of it at the end, to reframe the loss to where it doesn't feel, like loss anymore. It feels like, I don't know what it would feel like, but not like loss. Like maybe you actually gained something.
I was about to say like found
Like found. It feels like found. Like it feels like you gained something. Whether it be a new perspective or like some people who, like every time I'm on YouTube, I see the St. Jude's Children's Hospital ads.
Mm-hmm.
And these are parents of children who have cancer. And now the ads are showing children that did not make it.
Oh God, I haven't seen those.
I mean, it's very tastefully done, but
Okay.
they showed the child, the parents are talking, and we noticed something. They were walking with their head tilted or whatever. They went through this round and whatever, and they recovered, and then they found it again, and then it'll show like, oh, this child did not win their battle with cancer, but the research helped, yada yada yada. So it goes into that, but my heart goes out to these parents because these are their children. Like they haven't even lived, and that's got to be the worst thing in life is to bury your child. But like even with that loss, like the reframing that comes with like time is the new perspective or like what you gained from that loss. So I guess that's just what I end with is like in the loss, the way to finally deal with it is to see it as something other than loss.
That's a good idea. How am I do that?
Oh no, time, girl, time.
I don't know, girl. That's a good way to end this.
So, I love you, Billy.
We gotta end on that. Crying my glasses off. Thanks a lot.
Well, I know I'm streaked, like my makeup is streaked, so it is what it is.
Lordy.
We love y'all.
We do.
Thanks for joining us. Like and subscribe.
Yes.
Click the notification bell.
And while these folks are around, you tell your loved ones how much you love them.
Yes.
You give people their flowers
Now.
Okay.
And if you have a loved one who you haven't spoken with, try to reopen the communication. Don't hurt yourself, but don't expose yourself to trauma. But if you can, because nobody's promised tomorrow, and you don't want them to leave this earth, or you don't want to leave this earth with regret. So.
All right. See you next time.